Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the National Academies, I'd like to thank you all for attending our virtual workshop, Improving the Evidence Base for Treatment Decision Making for Older Adults with Cancer. I'm Monica Bertagnoli and the chair of the Workshop Planning Committee. The intent of this workshop is to examine the root causes that limit enrollment of older adults in cancer clinical trials and develop strategies for improved inclusion of older adults in cancer research across the drug development continuum. This workshop is sponsored by the Food and Drug Administration of the US and convened by 3 forums of the National Academies: the National Cancer Policy Forum, the Forum on Aging, Disability, and Independence, and the Forum on Drug Discovery, Development, and Translation. This is the second day of our 3-part workshop, and I am joined by my co-moderator, Dr. Eric Rubin, who is Vice President and Therapeutic Area Head of Early Oncology Clinical Development at Merck Research Laboratories. Today, we will be hosting the session focused on clinical trials designed with registrational intent. The session will be divided into 2 parts. The first half of the session will focus on how precise study designs could help improve the evidence base for older adults with cancer, giving you all some really great examples of what is possible. And then we will discuss policy opportunities to help achieve an improved evidence base. In this session, the first session, we will be hearing from 7 speakers. First, we will hear from our FDA colleagues, Dr. Harpreet Singh and Raji Sridhara, about the draft guidance for industry on inclusion of older adults in cancer clinical trials. Dr. Singh is Acting Associate Director for Cancer in Older Adults and Special Populations at the FDA Oncology Center of Excellence. And Dr. Sridhara is a biostatistician working as a contractor at the Oncology Center of Excellence. She recently retired after 20 years at FDA as the director of the Division of Biometrics, supporting the Office of Oncology Drug Products. After this, we will hear examples of clinical trial design strategies. We will hear from Dr. Efrat Dotan, the Associate Professor of Medical Oncology and the Director of the Hematology Oncology Fellowship Training Program at Fox Chase Cancer Center, followed by Kevin Tang, the Chair and Chief Executive Officer of Odinate Therapeutics. Then we'll hear from Dr. Richard Stone, the Chief of Staff at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Rich is also the Director of Translational Research for the Leukemia Division at Dana-Farber and a Professor of Medicine at Harvard Medical School. Next, Dr. Monica Giovannini, who is Vice President and Clinical Development Head for Oncology at Novartis. And finally, from Dr. Hans Wildiers, who is a medical oncologist at University Hospital Leuven, Belgium. Before we launch into the presentations, I wanted to quickly review the format for today's session on study design. All the presentations have been pre-recorded and will play consecutively. And then we will begin a live panel discussion. And reminders for our audience: we encourage your involvement in this workshop. So please use the chat box on our website to ask questions, and we will answer as many as time allows. Please also, if you're using the chat box, to include your name and affiliation. So thank you very much, and let's start the presentations.